Part 1. The Promise, a small village. A struggling father and his little daughter, who believed her dad could do anything. Every night, he promised her, "One day, you'll go to school like other children." Scene shows father working as a laborer, wiping sweat, looking at his daughter playing with broken dolls. But promises made in poverty often take years to come true. Part 2. The Letter. One morning, the father returned home with a smile, holding a letter. "You got admission, my princess," he said. Scene: daughter jumps with joy. Narrator: for her, that paper meant dreams. For him, it meant sleepless nights, wondering how to afford it. Camera shows him quietly pawning his wedding ring. Part 3. The sacrifice days turned into nights. The father worked double shifts, skipping meals so his daughter could study. Scene: he coughs, hides his pain, but dreams demand sacrifices, sometimes more than one can give. Part 4. Intermission. Sometimes the people who love us most love us in silence. Part 5. The goodbye. The little girl waited at the school gate. Hours passed, but her father never came. Scene: neighbor hands her a small folded letter. It was his handwriting. Shaky, but full of love. "My little princess, if you're reading this, I couldn't come today. But remember, your books are my pride. Study well, and promise me one thing. Never stop smiling." Part 6. The dream lives on. Years passed. The little girl grew into a young woman, now a teacher at the same school. Scene: she places her father's picture on her desk. Every time she teaches, she whispers, "This is for you, Baba." Part 7. The Last Letter. On graduation day, she stood before her students and read her father's letter aloud. Tears fell, but this time they weren't of pain, they were of pride. Some letters never fade, they live forever in the heart. Part 1. In a tiny village, nestled between rolling hills, lived a father and his little girl, Maya. Their world was small, just a humble hut, and the vast fields around them. But to Maya, her father was the biggest, strongest man alive. He could fix her broken dolls with a piece of string and tell stories that painted the sky with dragons and stars. Every evening, as the sun dipped below the horizon, Maya would ask, "Papa, when can I go to school like the other kids?" He'd hug her tight, his voice a gentle rumble. "Soon, my little star. I promise, one day you'll go to school and learn all the wonders of the world." Maya believed him with all her heart. For her, her father's promise was more certain than the sunrise. She didn't know the weight behind those words, the silent battles he fought every day just to put food on their small wooden table. Part 2. Part 2. Days turned into weeks, and the father worked tirelessly. From dawn till dusk, his hands were calloused from tilling the unforgiving soil of their small plot of land. The harvests were meager, barely enough to sustain them. He took on odd jobs in the village, mending fences, carrying heavy loads, anything to earn an extra coin. Each coin was carefully saved in a small clay pot, hidden beneath a loose floorboard. That pot held more than just money, it held a dream. It was the dream of a school uniform, of new books with crisp pages, and the sound of his daughter's laughter as she ran to a classroom. Some nights, he would sit alone, counting the coins by the dim light of a candle, his heart aching with the slow pace of his progress. But the thought of Maya's bright, hopeful eyes gave him a strength he never knew he possessed. Part 3. One year, a harsh drought swept through the region. The earth cracked open, and the once green fields turned to dust. The river shrank to a muddy trickle. Hope began to dwindle in the village, but not in the father's heart. He knew giving up was not an option. He started waking up even earlier, walking miles to the next village to find work. Often returning long after Maya was asleep, he'd find her curled up, a worn-out picture book clutched in her hand. He would gently kiss her forehead, whispering, "I'm trying, my love. I'm trying." Maya, sensing his exhaustion even in her sleep, would sometimes leave a glass of water and a small, wilted flower by his bedside, a silent gesture of her unwavering love and faith in him. It was these small moments that fueled his determination, turning his exhaustion into resolve. Part 4. The day finally came when the little clay pot was full. The father's hands trembled as he counted the coins one last time. It was enough. It was finally enough. A wave of relief so powerful it almost brought him to his knees washed over him. He couldn't wait to tell Maya. The next morning, he woke her up with the biggest smile she had ever seen on his face. "Maya," he said, his voice thick with emotion, "remember my promise." Her eyes widened, sparkling with understanding and excitement. Are we going?" she whispered, barely daring to breathe. He nodded, tears welling up in his eyes. "Yes, my little star. Today, we're going to get you ready for school." The joy that erupted from her was the most beautiful sound he had ever heard. Part Lima. Their journey to the town market was an adventure. For the first time, Maya saw a world beyond her village. She held her father's hand tightly, her eyes wide with wonder at the bustling crowds and colorful stalls. He bought her a crisp new uniform, a sturdy backpack, and a set of brand new books that smelled of fresh paper and endless possibilities. He watched as she traced the letters on the book covers, a look of pure reverence on her face. On their way back, he treated her to a sweet from a vendor, a luxury they had never afforded. As she savored the treat, she looked up at him and said, "Papa, you can do anything." In that moment, seeing the pure, unadulterated happiness on his daughter's face, he felt like the richest man in the world. Every sacrifice, every sleepless night was worth it. Part Anam. Part No. The first day of school arrived. Maya looked like a little princess in her new uniform, her hair neatly braided. The father walked her to the school gate, his heart a mixture of pride and nervousness. He knelt down to look her in the eyes. "Now, you go and learn everything," he said softly. "Be brave, be kind, and remember, I am so proud of you." Maya threw her arms around his neck, hugging him with all her might. "I love you, Papa," she mumbled into his shoulder. He watched as she took a deep breath, turned, and bravely walked through the school gates, disappearing into a crowd of other children. He stood there for a long time, a single tear tracing a path through the dust on his cheek. It wasn't a tear of sadness, but of profound, overwhelming love and fulfillment. Part 7. Years passed. Maya excelled in school, her mind as bright as her spirit. She never forgot the sacrifices her father made. She studied hard, not just for herself, but for him. She knew that every page she read was a testament to his love. Every grade she earned was a tribute to his hard work. The little girl who believed her father could do anything grew into a young woman who knew he had done everything for her. The promise made on a quiet evening, in a humble hut, had blossomed into a future filled with hope and opportunity. Their story wasn't just about a promise kept. It was about a father's unconditional love that moved mountains, turned dust into dreams, and proved that the greatest power in the world is the bond between a parent and a child. Thank you for watching. If this story touched your heart, please like, share, and subscribe for more.